long-term health results. So let's focus on fruits and vegetables. And the experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. You can reprogram your body by just changing your diet and including more fruits and vegetables into it. Here's a wonderful illustration. I love this slide. There's an apple cut in half. And what happens with an apple, if you let it sit on a counter, time, it's gonna turn brown like the left side. So the bad news is that oxidative stress is causing aging and disease. But the good news is that antioxidants in fruits and vegetables protect the cells from oxidative stress. So that right side that was squeezed with fresh lemon juice, as you can see, can endure the stressors that without it would turn into a brown apple. And that's why the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they are so good for you. They could save your life. There are documentaries and lots of evidence that show plant-based diets and how they can help cure, repair, reprogram DNA, just do everything from the inside out to help you. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. If anyone's unsure of what truly is a serving, just look at your fistful. So you have to have 7 to 13 of these a day. And even when I tried being plant-based for 6 months, I could not consume that much. So then if you're an athlete or you work out more, you need even more fruits and vegetables. So why so many? Produce is picked before nutrition fully developed, before it's fully ripened. It's already being placed in a truck and then transported thousands of miles. 90% of Americans do not eat enough servings, and we just don't get enough of the variety from the rainbow. In reality, when you go to the supermarket, some people are pretty familiar with like the bananas or the apples that they pick, but we need to eat star fruit, mango, pineapple, switch it up. And it's a practice that you have to be intentional in order to accomplish that. So multivitamin versus whole food. 70% of Americans are trying to fill gaps with a multivitamin. And a multivitamin has very few isolated nutrients versus if you see this apple here, look at this long list of 10,000 phytonutrients working in synergy. So the research shows that isolated vitamins may actually do more harm than good. And one thing that I learned to observe recently is if you notice, most multivitamin bottles have that lockable prescription top that you cannot just open up and take. There's got to be a reason. So just keeping that in mind is definitely very helpful, especially to my family and my children who I'm trying to teach. We have many resources in this community, from personalized support, fun live health events. Salad in a Jar is one of my favorites, and I'll be hosting one at the end of the month here in Sunrise. I saw a local Sunrise person. We've got a supportive online and accountability groups and fitness groups that we get into Messenger. Man, they upscale my workouts because I do some things that I would have never done had I not been with a group of people. Educational tools, ebooks, and webinars and more. Lots of resources to provide. So now I'd like to share a little bit of my story. This was me in 2004. So close to 17 years ago. I was a new grad. I just graduated from FIU with my bachelor's degree. I also then 2 days later delivered a healthy baby boy at 21 years old, but also became a single mom. And then 2 weeks later received very unfortunate news that I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And this is a form of cancer. It was such an aggressive type of cancer. I had to immediately undergo chemotherapy with just having a 2-week-old. And back then, I was convinced I was living a pretty healthy life. I was working out most days. I sometimes would replace my carbs for salads. I would eliminate soda, try and cut out sugar from time to time. But the reality was I was making a lot more poor food choices than I was right ones. And then with life stressors, poor food choices, working two jobs, carrying a baby, and graduating from college, life stressors then caused what later turned into cancer. Thankfully, I beat cancer. And 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Michelle at an Earth Day event where she taught me about a very simple way to flood my body with nutrients daily, whole food nutrition daily. It's made me a healthy wife and mother of three very healthy children. And now we're all consuming the adequate amount of nutrients to live our best lives from the inside out. So I pray that I get to teach my children and as many people in the world as I can to avoid the tragedy that I had to endure by just making better food choices. And one last thing, I mean, I was the first person in my family to be diagnosed with cancer. So I didn't think of it as being, well, it was genetics and I was meant to have it. I actually had a test done when I was carrying my last daughter 5 years ago, which was a genetic testing done to test my risk factors for cancer. And I actually resulted to be very low risk for cancer. So that should speak volumes on how environmental toxins and stressors and food can really jeopardize your health. And I pray that we're able to educate you on some simple ways to make a huge change. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Michelle Fletcher.
Thank you, Alicia. And oh my gosh, just such a powerful story. um, it's hard to follow Alicia, right? After hearing that, but I was introduced to this information 10 years ago, and that little boy you see in his swing sitting the opposite way was really the reason. When I had my second child, he was like sick all the time, projectile vomited. Turned out he had acid reflux from like the age of 3 weeks old, and reflux that turned into acid reflux. He was miserable for like the first 10 months of his life. And we used to do anything to keep him happy, such as put him in this swing because he cried all day. The acid was going up in his throat. So by the time he got of age to where he would eat food, he was a super picky eater. And he refused all vegetables, like he would not eat any. And I kind of figured that was why he was always sick. I had been taking my children to a holistic pediatrician for, by the time he was born, 2 years. And he had something called Juice Plus in his office, and he never had an opportunity to share with me what it was. But thankfully, 3 years later, a mom introduced me to Juice Plus, and it truly transformed our entire lives. At 14 months old, he started taking it because I was like, oh my gosh, this could be an answer to my prayers. I've been looking for something to help him get more vegetables into his diet. And I really was focused on him, but then we all started taking it as a family. And the transformation that happened with each and every one of us was phenomenal. First of all, my son, within 2 months, he was not sick at all. And he was my sick kid. He was sick usually 3 weeks out of a month. And then at the 2 month mark, he started picking up broccoli on his own. And he was a 16-month-old baby at that point and eating it. And then the next day he started eating cabbage on his own. And it was like, I could have fell on the floor because he never did that before. He would pick every little slither of a vegetable out of his food. And so that was like the first thing I saw happening in my family. But then my daughter, who would suffered from constipation, that disappeared. That went away. And then as for me, I always thought I was full of energy. I was Miss Fitness. And I noticed when it came to my workouts, my endurance and my stamina had improved significantly. Like I was working out harder and longer. And I was just like, wow. And then my recovery after workouts was so minimal. It was crazy. And then my husband noticed that he had less postnasal drip. Like he used to have this like, incessant like coughing because the what a mucus would drip down into the back of his throat, and that disappeared. And I noticed that disappeared because that used to annoy me so much. So I was just really grateful that we all started on Juice Plus together because I had no idea it was going to transform all our lives. I really thought of it for the little one, but then It's just really been a blessing. And now we don't go a day without it. So I'm going to share with you what Juice Plus is, because it really is the one simple change we made 10 years ago that just started us on this healthy journey. It's over 30 fruits and vegetables and berries that has been harvested at the peak of ripeness so that all the nutrition is intact. Because a lot of the produce we're getting today, guys, they are picking it early so that they can transport it to us. And so we know a lot of our produce is coming from South America or from California. And imagine for them to get it to us where it's not rotten, they're picking it very early. And so it doesn't have that nutrition that food that is allowed to ripen on the vine has. And so this produce is pulverized. It's not juiced, even though we're called Juice Plus. So it still has some of the fibers, and it's dried into powders at a low temperature to preserve the nutrition. These plant powders are put into capsules or gummies. So that's what I was introduced to 10 years ago, were the gummies, and they tasted so good. Me and my kids were eating them like candy in the car, and my kids were babies, that they thought it was candy. And then we also have a full spectrum omega that uses omega rich algae. So that's what the fish eat, and berries and seeds instead of the fish. So it has all the omegas. And I don't know about you guys, but I know I grew up taking fish oil as a kid, and it was like, ugh, so gross. And so this is what you get when you're taking Juice Plus. All these fruits and vegetables you see here, you're getting acerola cherry, apples, beets, peaches, pineapple, lemon peel, cranberry, dates, orange, mango, prunes, and that's just in the fruit blend. Then you're getting beets. Once again, you know, those are full of nutrients. Broccoli, rice bran, cabbage, lemon peel, again, we know that's really good. Parsley, carrots, garlic, kale, spinach, and tomato. And guys, they chose the most nutrient dense fruits and vegetables to put in here. And these are the ones that work really well in synergy together. And then in our berry blend, for those of you that are taking elderberry juice, we have elderberry in our berry blend, along with bilberry, artichoke, blackcurrant, blackberry, cranberry, blueberry, cocoa, Concord grape, pomegranate, and raspberry. And I know people that spend more money on elderberry supplements on their own than they would for what we have. And not only would you get elderberry, but you're getting 10 other really nutrient dense berries and grapes. So it just makes sense to take a look at this. And so we also have this plant-based omega, which I absolutely love. I've been taking, it came out like a few years ago. It's been around for, I think, almost 4 years now. I started taking it back then, and it's really supportive of your heart, your brain, your joints, your skin, and your eyes. And I've noticed for myself, now everyone's different, my eyes have improved significantly since I've taken it. I am back to the prescription my eyes were at in high school. And that's when I first got glasses. So my eyes have improved, and I'm in my 40s. Like, people always told me, when you hit 40, your eyes are going downhill. But my eyes have actually improved, and every year they've either gotten better or maintained, and it's just like amazing. So these omegas are from all plants. It goes directly to what the fish eat in the ocean, which is the algae. And so they took the algae oil, they've got sea buckthorn berry, they have pomegranate seed oil, raspberry oil, safflower seed oil, and tomato seed oil. It's been cold pressed. So there's a lot of omegas out there. And a lot of times what you don't know is that they're using heat to heat those capsules. And when they do that, then those capsules are losing nutrients. And a lot of times the oils are getting rancid because the heat is making them rancid. So we use a process that is cold pressed that doesn't do that. And we're actually saving the fish because we're going directly to what they eat and not killing all those fish to get the oils. And so then we also have our Juice Plus Complete Shakes, which I love. Let me tell you, first of all, I tried for years to drink different types of protein shakes, and I just couldn't do it. And I realize now that all the protein shakes I was trying before were whey protein, and my stomach couldn't stomach it. And when I would look at the ingredient list on these whey protein shakes, I used to be like, what are these ingredients? It sounded like something made in a chemical lab. It was crazy. So then I was introduced to these shakes, and I was like, oh, I don't do shakes because I had bad experiences, and I'm a picky eater. And these shakes, I have been drinking them now for 10 years. I can't even believe it. Like when I say it, my kids grew up drinking this shake. When my son first started Juice Plus at 14 months, he could drink the shake because it's safe enough for the entire family. Like your children can drink it. There's no warning labels on this. It's all whole food. It's vegan. It's made with non-GMO ingredients, gluten-free, dairy-free. You're getting 13 grams of protein, which people that are all hyped up about protein are like, oh, that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, guess what? When you're getting protein from plant sources, that's a great amount of protein. And then I know for me, I'm adding in other things like other plant foods. I'm adding in hemp seeds. I'm adding in other things. By the time I'm done with my shake has like over 20 something grams of protein. But in reality, what you really should be worried about is fiber. You need to make fiber your friend more and put more of an emphasis on fiber than protein, because fiber is what most of us are lacking today. And I love the fact that our shake has 8 grams of fiber already in it, because it's just gotten the fiber from all these whole foods. As you can see, the shake has things that I probably couldn't get my kids to eat if they were on a plate: broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, chickpea powder, millet, quinoa, amaranth, all those ancient grains, pea protein, rice protein, water wash soy, and mushrooms. So the mushrooms actually have vitamin D, guys. So it's another source of vitamin D. We know vitamin D is a big thing right now. I pray that everyone here is taking their vitamin D. It's very important, because if you're not getting it from the sun between 10 and 2 p.m., you need to be taking a supplement. It's foundational. Just like fruits and vegetables are foundational, taking your vitamin D is another thing that's pretty foundational. So we know that the safety of soy depends on the source. And our soy that is in Juice Plus is the same as eating edamame. They take the whole soy, it's not processed, it is crushed and then put into our shake, and it's water washed. So we're the minimally processed and the best source of soy that you can find. And they've actually done studies on so many sensitive demographics that I'm going to go into in a second. Okay, so this is how you bridge the gap. When you're eating not so well, then you're able to take Juice Plus and not feel as guilty, because I'm not a perfect eater. I know today I had pizza. I had an organic pizza from Publix, but we're not always perfect eaters. And so how do we bridge that gap? We take Juice Plus, and then a lot of times we are craving more of the good things, which is good. That's what's happened with me. I've craved more of the good things over time. And what makes us different from so many things out there, because I know there's a lot of things out there. What makes us different is we're not a multivitamin. We're actually food. And I will say, I grew up taking a multivitamin. My mom was like, you don't eat very well. You need to take a vitamin. And she always bought me, what was it, Centrum. I grew up taking Centrum, and I thought that was the answer. But we need to be getting our vitamins from the actual foods, because that's what our bodies know and what our bodies absorb. When you're taking a multivitamin, that's isolated vitamins. A lot of times your body doesn't know what to do with that. And that's why when you go to the bathroom and your pee is bright yellow, it's because your body was like, I don't know what that is. And it just peed it out. And then so we call that expensive urine. You went and you took this vitamin and now you're peeing it out. So Juice Plus has a food label. When you look, it says nutrition facts, not supplement facts. We're made with non-GMO ingredients. We're vegan, kosher, dairy-free, and gluten-free. And guess what? They've always been like that. Juice Plus has been around for 26 years, and they have always had these requirements on their label. It's NSF certified, which is a third-party nonprofit organization that makes sure that what's on the label is exactly what is in the product. There's no banned substances in Juice Plus, and we even have an NSF certification for like premier athletes such as Olympians. So we have Olympic teams that take Juice Plus. And it's also the most researched brand name nutritional product in the entire world. And we have over 35 published studies, which I'm going to get into. So Juice Plus is not about treating or curing specific conditions or diseases, but we know it's a way to supplement what you are currently doing in your daily life. So it's plant-based nutrition, highly concentrated to deliver a powerful nutritional punch, and supported by over 20 years of research. So this is what got me when I first heard about this 10 years ago, the research. I knew I was taking a vitamin my whole life. I was like, wait, my vitamin doesn't have research, what? So when I looked at this list, and at the time my friend had been accepted to Yale University. So I was so impressed. And so when I saw Yale on here, I was like, what? Yale has a study on Juice Plus, but not only Yale, you have like University of Florida, you have universities in Europe, in Australia, you have medical institutions. I mean, and these are highly renowned institutions and universities that have done studies on Juice Plus. So just take a quick look at this. Here is kind of a summary of those studies. So they've done multiple studies and the summary is here. It contributes to cardiovascular health. Now, I always thought going to the gym and working out and doing my cardio was how I contributed to cardiovascular health. I had no idea fruits and vegetables did that. Incredible. Then it supports a healthy inflammatory response. So let me break that down because I wouldn't know what this meant. That means it reduces systemic inflammation. Systemic inflammation is the beginning of a disease or illness. So the fact that fruits and vegetables reduce this and Juice Plus is shown to reduce this is huge for people that may be heading towards a crisis. You want to reduce your inflammation in your body. It supports a better quality of life. So I can't even say the amount of ways that I've seen this happen for people and for clients of mine that have taken Juice Plus, but we have the studies to support it. It supports healthy cholesterol, LDL, and triglyceride metabolism, healthy lung function, skin and gums. It's so funny. I was on a live earlier and I was like, man, I didn't have on any makeup, but I'm like, dang, I'm in my 40s and my skin looks great. And I used to suffer from like adult acne. I used to always have like things going on, but now it's like my skin is so much more healthier and I've noticed that. My gums used to bleed too, and that does not happen anymore. It supports your immune system. It helps protect your DNA, which is very important, and it reduces oxidative stress, which Alicia covered earlier. You know, if you're not supporting your body with the right things, then your body can be oxidizing, and that means you're aging faster, you're more prone to disease, and you don't want that. And it's actually absorbed by your body. So when you take Juice Plus and you go to the bathroom, you're not going to see your urine bright yellow because it's going into your bloodstream and your body's actually using it. So I love this quote by Dr. Richard Du Bois. He says, there is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. Boom. Anyway, I'm getting hyped. Okay, so the research shows, and I love this. So my kids have been a part of something we call the Healthy Starts with Families, where your children can get Juice Plus for free. My children have been a part of this, and this really helped me afford it when I first got started. But they have children between the ages of 4 and 18, or even children that are in college full-time, that can receive Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years if there's an adult taking it. So these are some of the results of them taking it. And my son, honestly, is a testament to all of this. 60% are missing fewer days of school, 56% taking fewer over-the-counter medications, they're drinking more water, less doctor visits, consuming less fast food and soft drinks, and eating more fruits and vegetables. Who doesn't want that? Like, who doesn't want that for their kid? And you can get it for free, like crazy. So I've seen this happen with my kids. I'm super grateful that I've had it. Like now my son is so healthy. And I forgot to mention that, like, he's like my healthiest kid now. I think he's surpassed his sister because he rarely ever gets sick. And if he does, it doesn't even last more than a few days. And so next we have, our company is all about fruits and vegetables, whether you're consuming them in capsules or gummies or drinking them in our plant-based shake. Now we even have a way for you to grow your own fruits and vegetables, which last year, oh my gosh, insane. So many people are realizing they want to take control of their food sources. They would prefer to not have a lot of people touching their produce. So now they're growing their own food. Last year was a big deal about that because people were realizing they had more time on their hands. They can actually garden. Garden is very therapeutic also. I don't have a green thumb, but I've had mine now for 9 years. And it really does make me like feel very proud and accomplished whenever I grow. Like right now, mine looks amazing. And I'm just like, yes, I did that. But the beauty of the tower garden versus growing in the ground is that you use 98% less water, which is huge. Because if you look up how much water you spend or how much water you use to garden your in the ground garden, it's a lot. It's a lot of gallons. And then it takes up less than 90% space because it's like 3 feet around for the regular size one. The indoor one, the Tower Garden Home, is even smaller and more compact. You get 30% more yield, and it grows 3 times faster. So like I planted my stuff the end of January, and now I have like a whole bunch of stuff growing on my tower. It's amazing. Everything grows so quickly. And so they even did studies on the tower garden to compare it to growing in soil. And these are the results they came up with from the study. And that was done at the University of Mississippi. So we also have a program. If you're looking to go real strong into a program, we have that also for you. And it's called our Shred 10 program, where for 10 days, we are eliminating some things, but then we're also getting on like a jump start to our health, where we're adding in all this nutrition, flooding our bodies with a lot of nutrition, which helps to get the toxins out, because a lot of times people are doing all these different diets, and guess what? They're not getting rid of the toxins in their body. So when they finish with the diet, they yo-yo back because their bodies have those toxins. And guess what? Toxins want to be protected by fat, because if you just have toxins sitting around in your body and then you're small, no bueno. Like that's a situation leading to disaster. And you can see it in this picture here. Fat cells are surrounded by toxins, right? The toxins are surrounded by the fat cells. But then when you diet and you don't get rid of the toxins, you don't feel so great. It might even show in how your complexion looks. And so then you rebound. But when you do the Shred 10, you're detoxing the toxins. All those plant foods that you're flooding your body with, you're detoxing those toxins out of your system, a lot of them. And so you'll go through that detox phase, but let me tell you, by day 5 and 6, you're going to feel like a new person. You'll feel really good. You're going to notice that there may be some weight loss. There's going to be all these other after effects that are just like so beneficial. So we love that it's not about being skinny, it's about being healthy. Because when you're in your 70s, I don't know if you're going to care so much about how skinny you are. You're going to be really worried about how healthy you are. So Juice Plus is very affordable. I was not even working when I started taking Juice Plus, and we were on a serious budget. Like, it was no joke. But I saw the value in it for my child, and then I saw the value in it for the entire family, and we got started. And so it's $2.50 to get started on the 30 fruits and vegetables, which is the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries. And then you can also get your child for free on the gummies with that if you have the child between 4 to 18 or in college. And then our shakes are $35 a pouch, which ends up being like $2.33 a serving. And I always say, I wish I had this in college, because I ate so bad. Like, I ate really bad. If I had the shake alone, at least I would have had one decent meal for the day. But I feel like $2.33 is cheap compared to like the crap I was eating, getting out of the dollar menu in college. And then our omegas are only $1 a day. And that is very comparative to a lot of omegas that are out there on the shelf, which you don't know how long that's been sitting there, because really the FDA does not regulate vitamins. So they can just have things sitting out there for who knows how long. And so you're getting all of that for less than you would, what's this thing from Starbucks? A cappuccino. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know all the drinks, but whatever this picture is, you're getting all of that for like around the same price that you would spend on something that's just not so good. And so we would want to invite you to join us. You can join us in a number of ways. You can maybe say, dang, that sounds so good, I need to get started and become a customer. You can decide that, listen, I know a few people that probably need to get started on this too, and become a partner and share with a few others. Or you can say, this is amazing. And that's how I was 10 years ago. I was like, this is amazing, I'm going to be telling people, and decide to join us and earn some extra income. It's all up to you. The choice is yours. Whoever invited you in on this call, definitely get back to them and find out how you can do any of the above. And so our job is to inspire healthy living. And that's why we begin with the education of what's going on in this country, because it's not looking good, but we can turn that around as we continue to touch one life with this education and information. So our job is to just inspire healthy living around the world. And if you are someone that may be considering taking a look at what this opportunity is too, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, we are having an event that talks about bridging the financial gap in our lives. And so if you want to join that, let us know. We can give you the information. I am going to stop sharing so I can see everyone's faces. You made it, guys. I hope that was super informative. I didn't see any of the questions because I was busy
Michelle,
talking.
you do have one question.
Okay.
How long did it take for the nasal drip to go away for you guys?
It was like I noticed around month 3 that he wasn't snorting, and because it would drip down to his throat, he would snort, and then sometimes he would choke. So he would start choking, and I was like, dude, that is gross. And I noticed like around month 3 of him taking that is when it disappeared. And around the same time, because my husband's an educator, he had noticed he had more energy too. Like as a teacher, he said he used to be like want to pass out in the classroom around lunch. But he was like, man, I have energy. And he didn't attribute anything to, because men don't attribute anything to what you tell them, right? But I knew what it was. I was like, yeah, it's that Juice Plus. That's the only thing he changed. So yeah, Anna's laughing. I can say that because he's not here. He's at practice with my daughter. I'm talking junk, but yeah, I was paying attention. For me, I didn't notice anything until like the 3rd month when we used to do a survey to see how we were doing on Juice Plus, and they would ask the question, if you work out, have you noticed more endurance and stamina? And I was like, yeah, I noticed that. So it's different for everyone. Everyone's different, but we know that fruits and vegetables are foundational and they're going to help your body whether you feel it or not. So thank you guys for being on with us tonight. My passion really is to share this information and help you to make a more educated decision. So thank you, Alicia, for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me as your co-host.
Any other questions before we go for the night? Oh, it's 9:10.
We have a question. Go ahead.
Hey, Joan.
Hi, I said I'm gonna get back with you on the Juice Plus because I have postnatal drip like your husband, and it does choke me at nighttime. Like I do sleep on 3 or 4 pillows.
Wow.
Because I wake up, I can't breathe, and it's especially during the fall season, it's worse.
Yeah, but oh wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I shared that because a lot of times I don't even share his situation. It's funny. Sometimes I remember because but now he doesn't have it. And sometimes when he stops taking it for a certain amount of time, I'll know because then he'll start snorting again. I'm like, oh, you're not taking Plus. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. It's just so weird how it goes to work on that in his body. Like I notice that a lot. But yeah, we'll talk, Joan.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining in.